Go ahead.
Sorry?
Yes.
Good evening. My name is Pat Murphy. I have the pleasure of teaching the young men at LaSalle Academy. I am the department chairperson. I teach advanced placement United States history and government to juniors, and I teach government and economics to seniors. Harry Truman once said, "The only thing new is the history you haven't learned." That's a quote that I put on the board the first day of class every year, incorporating into the prayer before we begin. Students usually don't pay much attention to the quote when I'm saying it, but then I always ask the question, do you agree with that? Is the only thing new the history you haven't learned? Normally the response will be no, and they'll start rattling off things that are brand new that have nothing to do with history. And then I will point out everything has to do with history. There isn't anything that you pursue that doesn't have something to do with our history. Every activity, whether it's a hobby or eventually your profession, will involve history. I don't care if you go into music, I don't care if you go into the law, business, you're an inventor, history is going to be a part of it. And if you're going to be very good at what you do, you will understand the history of what you do. Well, so how do we teach history? Most people tend to think of history as facts, information, minutia. It really isn't. It's stories. It's our story. It's every single story that takes place that brings us to the point where we are. Think about it for a second. Think of the 4th of July. On the 4th of July, we celebrate the nation's birth. We have fireworks, we have barbecues, we go shopping. Well, what really made the nation's birth? If you think about it for a second, a group of men who were either rich or the upper middle class decided that something was wrong. There needed to be a new way and a new type of government. For hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, government was always some form of dictatorship. Well, then we tell the story, how one activity after another, one event after another, finally brought them to the point to declare independence. That declaration of independence would lead to a war. But what made it a revolution was not by winning a war, but by changing government of the people, as expressed by Thomas Jefferson in that Declaration of Independence. All men are created equal. They are born with unalienable rights, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Governments are created to protect those rights. And when government fails to do so, the people alter or abolish the government. Well, who tells the stories at LaSalle Academy? We have a terrific history department, and I'll take it a step further. Throughout the school, we really have great teachers. And because I emphasize the only thing new is the history you haven't learned, history is being taught throughout the curriculum, throughout the school. I always think in terms of what makes a good teacher. I think there are 3 factors. 1, you have to be knowledgeable. You have to know your subject. 2, you have to be passionate about it. And 3, you want to have to take that passion and teach the students your subject, your passion. And I think that's something that our department and the school embodies. There's knowledge, there's passion, there's a desire to teach those students. In the history department, we follow the state curriculum. First year, freshman year, you'll take global history and geography. We basically trace the ancient civilizations of China, Africa, ancient Rome, ancient Greece, through to about the Middle Ages. Sophomore year, you take global history and geography 2, from the times of revolution as close to the present as possible. Again, all parts of the world in terms of world history. Junior year, you take United States history and government. And I emphasize government because we also have to study the Constitution. We have a lot of work in junior year. We have 1 year to cover the material. And for an example, New Jersey takes 2 years to cover the same material. We have a Regents exam. They don't, go figure. But it's something that works out. And we do very well at LaSalle on our Regents exams, both junior year and sophomore year. Also, junior year, you have the opportunity to take advanced placement U.S. history. And if you're successful on the advanced placement exam, you gain college credit. Senior year, you take a semester of government and a semester of economics, or you take AP government with another opportunity to gain college credit. We also have several electives: psychology, sociology, business law, and criminal justice. So we have a variety of courses that our students take. Finally, what are our goals for our students? We want them to be successful. We want them to do well. But I think even more importantly, there are three things that I hope our students take with them when they go on to the next phase of their lives, most of them going on to college. One is that they are critical thinkers. They're able to look at both sides of an issue, or all sides of an issue, not just taking one source for their information. Two, that they are readers. They're passionate readers, reading multiple sources. That gives them lots of ideas to grow. Read great books, read solid newspapers and magazines. And then thirdly, have the ability to take their knowledge and to write clearly, to be able to express themselves in the written word. If we can accomplish those things, and if a student can take those skills, there isn't anything that they can't do. I want to thank you for taking the time to listen to me tonight, and I wish you all the luck in the world in your choices.